Hey guys, it's Gav. Hope you're well. Obviously, it's my YouTube channel and it's mostly around fitness. But I just want to point something out for people to think about. I went through the 2008 crash, and if you lived through that, you'll all know that we had in Western culture, we had a massive recession. We had a global recession. It was impacted from greed and people were over leveraged. And what I mean by over leveraged, they just borrowed more than they can afford to pay back. And it was very commonplace in the property market, business, and it was just all underpinned by bad debt. And the banks got greedy, general populations got greedy, and greed got the best of most people. It affected my businesses quite a lot in that period. So I had to learn the hard way. It is, and I'll quote the date, it is Wednesday the 24th of March 2021, and I am predicting a global recession right now. What key indicators give me that impression? Well, if you do stocks, if you're on the stock market, my whole portfolio has gone from strong bullish last year to strong bearish. So what that means is I was very bullish. So basically the stock market was, say, at this point here on average, COVID came in, wiped the floor with a lot of stocks, and naturally a lot were having to climb up, because in history, there's not been many times in history where companies have been forced to close. So I made, in some cases, 50% returns on those stocks, which was a bit of a no-brainer. This year, completely different ball game. Furloughs coming to the end. We've got possibilities of a third wave. The UK and the US of A is very closely knit in terms of its financial dealings. We've got an issue with too many people who've borrowed cheap money and pumped it into the likes of cryptocurrencies. That's a bubble. Tech stocks on the stock market, which are heavily overinflated right now. I'm not going to go into any examples, but if they were at this position before COVID hit and they dropped, but they've gone off the charts up here at record highs, you've got to ask yourself, where's all this money come from? In most cases, it's come from the general Joe public who've suddenly downloaded an app and want to start trading online. I know my channel here is all about fitness. My biggest concern for a lot of people is they have no idea what's around the corner. So going through the 2008 crash, I learned a lot. I watched somebody lose £1 million in a day on the stock market. I also train people in financial institutions, some big key decision makers in big companies, and I learned a lot. And my gut right now is saying to me, we've got a couple of big bubbles that are going to burst, and it's not just one sector like last time. It's not just the housing sector now, and that's just one of the sectors that I'm concerned for. It's the cryptocurrency sector. I feel it's going to completely bottom out. It's going to wipe the floor with a lot of people. I firmly believe that the technology stock market, which is overly inflated, is going to start cracking, because people, when the sun's out and they get to experience life a bit more, people are going to be wanting a bit of cash to go and experience the world. So the first place they're going to go is their crypto and the likes of the stock market. Some people will say, well, you're mad, Gav, it's on an upward trend. I've just put 125 positions, and I'll show this in the future. I've put over 125 positions shorting the entire market of America and the UK tech, and already I'm seeing easy returns of 4 to 8%, and I only started doing this last night. I could be completely wrong, but a bit of a gamble. But I haven't actually put a TP in. Basically, I'm just prepared to watch the entire market freefall over the next year, and I just think so many people are going to get caught out. If you're heavily invested in the stock market, if you're over leveraged and you've heavily invested in the likes of Bitcoin, stock market, if you've paid over the odds for a property, who knows, but you can't have a huge boom without consequence. It's not going to forever go up, it's got to contract at some point. The governments of the world can't keep printing money, they can't give free money out all day, every day. The bubble's going to burst at some point. But like I say, the last crash I went through, it was a banking and credit crunch, and it involved the property market. And this time round, it's going to have the property market. People are very leveraged on credit debt, they're going to be affected there. Cryptocurrency is overinflated, as well as technology stock. And yeah, okay, Bitcoin could reach 100,000 per unit, but it wouldn't surprise me if it drops 95%, and that will wipe the floor of a lot of people. I am invested in cryptocurrencies, but I just not as much as I used to be, and I'm shorting, like I say, I'm shorting the entire market. Big brands, emerging brands, anything which is overly hyped up, where they've had huge chronic growth the last year, which just isn't natural growth. So there we go. Bit of doom and gloom. Sorry to say it as it is. I have started a new YouTube channel. It's going to be called Limitless Potential. Make sure to give it a follow. This is the only video that I'm prepared to do on this channel about my theory and thought process on the current market. To conclude, my attitude is looking at history, looking at data, looking at research, looking at economics, looking at people's positions to want to get rich quick, and thinking they can do it through the likes of their mobile phone, just by simply buying a transaction and watch it go up 20%. The concerning issue is, yeah, you could watch your shares go up 20%. What are you going to do when it suddenly drops by half overnight? Most people are going to sell, and obviously you lose money at the moment you sell. And my biggest concern for so many people is just going to wipe the floor of them, and a lot of people are not going to recover. So there we go. And if I'm right, I'll be sharing all my data, all my research, all my own positions, and I'll be very transparent with what's happened. I just can't advise people to follow what I'm doing, because I don't want anyone to feel the pinch if what I'm saying is wrong. But history's only going to repeat itself. I went through the 2008 crash. It taught me a lot of lessons, and all I'm seeing is hype. And historically, when you see excessive hype, you usually see, when it got hyped up so much, you're going to see an aggressive downward trend. And what I'm experiencing and seeing with the stock market right now globally is very similar trending data to what was happening in the 1926 crash. And there we go. So it only takes for the summer to come, and people across the world think, oh, I want to go out and enjoy myself. So they start pulling a bit of money out of the stock market, which they've dabbled in, start taking a bit of money out of crypto. Suddenly it only needs the news to start announcing that we're actually in recession, which we are, and they're not talking about it. So that's going to be a pull. And if suddenly the market contracts 20-30% in a day, being blunt, a lot of people are going to shit themselves. So I'm just glad that I spot the signs. I've had experience in this sort of thing, and I can see the trend a mile off. I've been in business since I was a 13-year-old lad, and I watched my parents struggle for the 2000 crash. I struggled during the 2008 crash. I was a winner last year. I diversified my portfolio, and I diversified my businesses very quickly into markets where there was demand. Plain and simply put, I went into mass production of gym equipment, which is a no-brainer. But now I'm seeing a new trend. I'm seeing the data right now. I'm looking at the screen, and I've got one stock right now I invested in last night. It's now 10% on a sell position. So it doesn't sound a lot, but when it suddenly goes to 100% or 200% or 300%, it's going to be big, especially when I've got 125 positions all following suit. So there we go. That's a bit of a random video entirely. You might have not understood a word of what I've had to say, but if you want to do some research yourself, I'd highly recommend it. I'd start advising people to start searching Google terms like Bitcoin cryptocurrency bubble. Even if it does go to 100,000 a share, it's only 100% return. It's not that great, especially if it contracts suddenly by, if it jumps 100%, it suddenly contracts by 150, you've lost 50%. Simple as that. Maybe heavily invested in the stock market. I'd strongly advise steering away from being strong bullish to being a cautious bear, because that's my position right now. And if you've got money heavily invested in both cryptocurrency and the stock market right now, I'd do some serious research. Start listening to some key players. Unfortunately, because everyone wants to historically see an upward trend, everyone wants to see easy money. People don't want to listen to doom and gloom. People don't want to listen to negativity. But unfortunately, they're glued to too much of it watching TV. And quite often than not, people tend to do the research when it's too late. What I'd recommend people do now is do the research now, because from what I'm seeing at first glance, I think it's just going to be a downward trend. I think it's just going to get harder and harder over the next year or two. I think there's going to be a big, drastically sudden crash with cryptocurrency, then technology stocks on the stock market, then weaker companies on the stock market, and so forth and so forth. And indirectly that will affect banking institutions, governments, and that will also affect small, medium sized businesses. It's just a massive knock-on effect. And I saw it in 2008, and right now I can see it's going to be more potent than that. So let's hope I'm wrong. But if I'm right, and if you've took some tips from this video, like I say, do some research yourself, make your own informed decision. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit the subscribe button on this channel, but also make sure to follow Limitless Potential, which is a channel all about entrepreneurialism, and it's all about hints, tips, motivation, etc. I'm going to be doing more content on that channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.